Yes. So this is what we should be thinking about. These small things. Like, look at how he reacted to this situation. He didn't take it easy with the girl's father at all. Even when the spokesman came inside, tell him, he was going off with him like
traditional setting. How can you be talking to your father-in-law? Your father-in-law, you are comfortable at an introduction. Hi guys, welcome back to the Afro-Centrist Podcast. Yes. Welcome to today's episode of the Afro-Centrist Podcast. I mean, you already know our names by now. If you don't, maybe you're watching this for the first time or you're listening to this podcast for the first time. My name is Ejiro Isakade, aka the Energetic EJ, and I've got here with me
Daniel Enemo, also the original Daniel.
Yes. Okay, so today, you already know it, we are on to top review. I mean,
am I supposed to do that too?
I mean, your choice. If you wanna, I'm not gonna stop you. Okay. All right. So, like we mentioned last week, we're reviewing a book titled "A Line in the Sand," written by Bralade Koroye-Emenanjo. And this book is basically about boundaries in relationships, marriage specifically. But with the stories that this book have, you can apply it to other aspects of your life, even though this one focuses on marriage and relationships. Or you can apply it to other areas of your life, okay? And so it's a compilation of 14 short stories, 14 interesting stories, 14 very vivid stories. Like you feel like you're watching a movie. Very emotional stories. Like you would read those stories and you would literally see yourself in the story, like, okay, how would I react if this were me? How would I, oh my God, I think this is actually how I actually act, and I think I need to work on my boundaries. This story is so good. Bralade is such an amazing writer. She brought the stories to life, and I really recommend this book for everybody. Go get your copy. I think it's 7,500 naira in naira if you're ordering from Nigeria, and on Amazon. It's already available on Amazon. Actually, it's a bestseller on Amazon already, right? So you can order your copy from Amazon. So it's a bestseller in about 2 or 3 categories: African history, 2 or 3 categories. So it's a great book, and like the praise for the book is just amazing, right? I'll probably show you some of them on this episode, but that will be for those of you watching on YouTube. You'll be able to see on the screen. It's an amazing book, right? So today, I'm going to be reviewing 2 stories of 14, right? 2 stories of 14, just to give you a clue and give you an insight to what to expect if you get your copy of the book. But it's really a great book. It's a book that you can get for yourself, get for your friends, and gift it out. It's a good book because, you know, myself and Daniel was talking before I started recording, like, there are a lot of things that we just overlook when it comes to the matter of boundaries, right? We overlook these things, but they're very important for us to know and for us to set those boundaries. And that's what this book does for you. It gives you an idea of the things that you are overlooking as a person in your relationships, in your friendship, in your marriage, that you should actually not overlook and just sweep under the carpet and not talk about. We need to talk about these things. We need to communicate our boundaries. We need to be able to tell the people and the people in our lives, you know, what we can take, what we cannot take, and let us know for both sides so that, you know, we don't keep stepping on each other's toes. All right. So we're reviewing 2 stories out of 14. The first one is Every Woman's Dream, and the second one is Money Matters. Okay. Let's Daniel starts with Every Woman's Dream, you know, as a guy man. As a guy man, and you know, the story is about this guy man that, so you tell us about the story. Give us a summary of the story, and then let's just talk about it.
Okay, so this is your average power couple kind of scenario, but then in this one, it's like it finally dawns on the woman who she's about to get into a serious relationship with, who she's about to get married to. Yeah. So mostly, or most of the time, we overlook certain things, which is why it's important to pay attention to your fiance, your boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Okay. Yeah. Supposed to pay.
Yeah, your significant other.
Because it's no longer what it used to be anymore. I don't know which one is a real relationship now. Anyway,
hey God, that's a serious something though. Talk for another day. That's a serious talk.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what it is now. Okay, so let's put it in context here. We are talking about people in serious relationship, people who are
serious relationship
and looking at marriage as the end goal. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about just faffing
around. So the person you've seen as the one, or somebody you know you're going to spend the rest of your life with, it's important to pay attention to certain details about them, like know what it is. Just as you go check medically to see if you and the person are compatible, you should also know if emotionally you are compatible. Yeah. So there might be certain traits in a person that you might see as something that won't really matter, but then you should look at the long haul. Do you think you can handle it if the person keeps doing that? Because we can't really change who people are. In the end, we are who we are. You can't really change who people are. Maybe you can suppress it, but who somebody is who the person is. Yeah. So somebody might say, "Oh, I'm going to stop this," or he might change, or she might change. She might stop this. But then, if something is inside somebody, if something is somebody's character, sometimes it happens subconsciously. It happens involuntarily. It comes out. Yeah. And then you guys can probably talk about it. And if it's something that can't be laid off or controlled, then you run. I will not sugarcoat it. Run.
Yeah, for the change bit we're talking about. For the change bit we're talking about, the only person that can change is the person himself. So don't think that because of you somebody will change. You know, exactly. That's not like don't even fall for that trick. Nobody will change because of you. They will change because
you are not a repairer.
They will change because they want to change. So the important thing is to see, is this person open to change? And like you said, if you are looking for those details, those are the kind of details you should be looking for. Is this person open to change? Is this person the kind of person that when you give a feedback to, they actually take it objectively and adjust if they feel, okay, this thing you're saying is. Because if they are not, there are people like, I'm who I am. I am like this is how I am. You know, but for example, personally, I have grown to now know that this is not how I am. This is how I am today. I am constantly changing. I am constantly evolving because I'm constantly knowing things about myself on a daily basis. There are things that I found out recently. I'm like, oh my God, I need to work on this, right? But I'm in that space of morphing. Like I'm not rigid, so I can't say, this is who I. No, this is not who I am. This is who I am now. So me that you know 5 months ago is not the me that you know now. I'm constantly evolving and changing. So if that person, whoever you are with, who is your significant other, does not have that capability or does not have that character in them to want to change, to want to upgrade, to want to be better, please, like Daniel says, run. Don't manage. You cannot change anybody.
No, you can't.
You can't. So there's this story in this particular book talking about every woman's dream. Talked about a power couple. People were looking at them and admiring them and like, this is the couple of the hour, the couple of the day. You know, you also know how people just go under this pressure. And because people see you as the power couple, you too now start keeping up appearances.
Exactly.
And try to
you
cover
don't
up.
want to disappoint.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Don't disappoint others. Meanwhile,
trying to keep your reputation.
Meanwhile, you are suffering.
You are dying.
I know. Right? So in this story, Timi Priya, who is that protagonist in literature? Who is the main character? Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
He's the main character. He's very temperamental. Like, how can somebody be so temperamental that you are abusing your mom, your own mother?
Exactly.
on phone.
Exactly.
And you're telling yourself and telling your babe that, see, nobody tells you what to do. If anybody tells you anything, you're going to abuse them, abuse their generation. And you as a babe, you want to continue
and marry so married and he paid for it.
As in?
Aye.
So, no.
But
it's a no.
The funny thing is, from the beginning, the signs were there. Like, they were clear. Like, that this person had anger issues. But she always found a way of making it look good or something. Covering it. Yeah. Instead of paying attention to this detail, like this person, if this is what he can do on this small situation, imagine you that is in with him for a lifetime. Yes. So this is what we should be thinking about. These small things. Like, look at how he reacted to this situation. He didn't take it easy with the girl's father at all. Even when the spokesman came inside, tell him, he was going off with him like
traditional setting. How can you be talking to your father-in-law? Your father-in-law, they are comforting you at an introduction. Guys, you need to read the story. You need to read the story to understand what we're talking about, because it's annoying. So basically, if you want to get this particular story we're talking about, let me plug this in quickly. You can quickly visit Bralade's page on Instagram and click on the link in her bio. If you get a copy of the book, I think there's still grace period before the release of the paperback, which is going to be sometime next week or in June, the second week of June or third week of June. You can still get, if you get up to 5 copies, you qualify to get 4 stories free. So she's going to send you 4 stories free. Wow. If you pre-order the book now, you get 4 stories free. But then there is another book on her page that is free for all. You can just go check that out. That's the second story we're going to be reviewing quickly. But this first one is that, see, especially for you who have not married, please, if you are not yet married, please pay attention and run. If you know that there are things that you cannot change. Sometimes you think you can change a person, you cannot change anybody.
No.
You cannot change anybody. Anybody who's not ready to change now, you cannot change them. So pay attention to those little signs, and then don't go ahead with it. Be sure, very, very sure. Ask for, opinions of others around, because at the end of the day, it's not just both of you. That's the funny thing. It's not just going to be both of you. You have relationships that are already existing. So when you're not getting married to somebody who wants you to cut out from all your relationship of your life that you've been to, even if you're married at 25. So the people that you've known for 25 years, you should diss them because you want to get married to this person. You say, no. So pay attention to those signs. Yeah. And please don't go ahead and
think about your kids too. Your kids. The family they are being brought in.
Exactly. So please pay attention. And then the second story we're going to do quickly before we round up today is money matters. This one is a serious matter. Money, ego. Wait till you call on for tree.
Chi, sika.
Sika, hey.
Sika.
Sika, money, right? Money matters. Money will always cause trouble. If you don't give yourself brain and put boundaries in place, money will always cause trouble. Between friends, between spouses, between partners, business partners, money will always cause trouble, which is why we have to be very, very strict with our boundaries around money. For example, I have a policy. If I want to borrow somebody money, if the money I want to borrow you, if I cannot borrow you a money that my heart will be doing, any money I borrow you must be money that I know that I can live. So that if you don't pay me back, it will not cause trouble between us.
Yes, carrying somebody in your heart.
So because money, the thing money can do.
Seriously.
I say the way people will change when money matter enter. Anyway, so this story about money matters is about a couple. This was, they're married already. Apparently, the man is a dreamer, and he funny enough, he was specific about what he wanted. He knew what he wanted. He knew the reason why he wanted to marry a particular kind of person. He had it all figured out. But the lady had no idea. The lady had no clue.
Yeah.
The guy wanted to marry, specifically wanted a nurse.
A nurse, yes.
He wanted a nurse. And so they went to look for a nurse for him from Nigeria. He was abroad. They went to look for a nurse for him from Nigeria to come and marry him. But he knew what he wanted. Like, nurses are being paid a lot in the US. So when the woman came, he made sure he found a good job for the woman to work as a nurse. And
It was an investment plan he was looking for, not a woman to marry. It was an investment plan for his business.
I tell you. And
Because
it actually
they didn't
worked
have
for him.
they didn't have any special connection. They had not really been together to like get to know each other and everything. But he wants specifically a nurse that will give him money. That's all.
That will milk him money. It's ATM.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, you see why he really planned it. He could have gotten a nurse that was already in the US. He's already in the US now. Why didn't he marry a nurse in the US? He went to fish for a nurse from the village, right? Who know nothing, who will see it as an opportunity.
Yes, the one you see, our villages is the tradition is spoiling our mindset, because you see the girl. Sorry, I'm stealing your story.
No, go on.
But the girl also had the same way the man had the kind of goals of who he's going to marry. The girl also had a kind of goal, like a certain set of achievements she's supposed to get. So she's supposed to be happily married with a good job and all that. So it didn't even bother her that she didn't have any connection with this person. You see, the story said that at some point in time she started developing feelings for him. So it means she just married him to just get married and then let the family like be noted as somebody or a family who has a daughter that is married and is a nurse. So like that's an ideal woman for everybody. And it doesn't bother anybody, nobody in the village. It didn't bother anybody, not even the town crier, that this is the situation. Like it seemed like a norm, like it's tradition. It's annoying. It was
tradition. Like, people don't necessarily have to date to get married. The family just does the liaising for both parties and all of that. I mean, that was what was before now that we're not dating. Now, sir, we are not even sure which one is even better, because really,
no, Christ even worse. Jesus.
Because
and
really,
those who do it for fun, like, what is wrong with you?
Our parents didn't do all this dating thing, and they stayed together for so long. Although we don't know the psychological effects of being in such marriages for them, because for them, the idea that was sold to them was you have to keep your marriage because of your children. So a lot of mothers stayed in toxic marriages, in toxic, relationships because of their children. That we don't want somebody else to come and take care of my children, so I'll sit down here. They were receiving beating, they were receiving emotional blackmail, they were being suffered a lot, rejection, all of those things, right? But they sat down there because the idea that was sold to them was you sit down there and take care of your children, right? So I'm not even sure which is even better, but last for me personally is that it has to be you and your God, and know what God says about relationship, about marriage, and knowing your boundaries as well, so that it's a win-win for everybody. Or if you're going into it sacrificially, you know that, okay, this is a decision you are making sacrificially, not because tradition dictates that you do this, or somebody wants it to be like this, or somebody wants it to be like that. So, in this story then, Madam went abroad, started working like jackass. The man made sure that she got a job where she can do overtime, so that, because when you do overtime, you get more payment. And basically, she was just working. And for the first couple of years, she had no savings, nothing, because as she's working, the man had a job before he married, but he left his job so that he can stay at home. And the woman was thinking, supporting husband,
it's a lie. It's a lie.
They didn't know that it's because of what he wanted that he was doing all of those things, right? So at the end of the day, the woman's eyes cleared, like, no, what's going on here? It was when, there was a situation back home and there was supposed to be money sent. A guy is siphoning money to build house. Meanwhile, somebody is back home that you're supposed to pay hospital bills for. Sometimes people are just selfish. How can you divert the money that was meant for hospital bill to build a house because you are the man? It doesn't make sense.
If this man if we mix this one and then the first one, maybe we mix them together, and then you have a trait of somebody who is hot-tempered, and then somebody who is, how do you even describe this one?
I don't know. It's just manipulating.
We call them tax collector. You see, this is it. They form a dictator. They form a dictator in the sense that, you see, the money that was meant to go to the girl's mother for hospital, all that didn't get to her because the man used it for something else. And then there's also a line in the first one that said you should choose which side you're on. Like, he doesn't like a woman that is disloyal. How does loyalty play into this? It's your family. I mean, when do you get to choose between them? I mean, there are some certain situations that calls for it sometimes, but then he makes it look as if now you have to like give up on them. If they are dying, they are dying. You are now here, so yes.
I mean, without my dad, how will you see me to marry?
Exactly. They gave you the blessing in the first place. Now you are just. I think if you are going to do this Black Lives Matter Awareness Day or something, we should also have black married women too. Special day to celebrate them. They are trying. I've seen a lot of them. The marriage is not going really well for them. Very, very uncomfortable. But it's like they're trying to keep appearances. They come out and they are smiling, but inside they are dying. They can't come out because they are trying to maintain a reputation. They don't want to have any bad name for the family. They don't want the kids to be seen as people who are in such
families. Yeah.
Exactly. So they stay and endure. Like, it takes a special kind of bravery and a special kind of strength to pull something off like that. Like, I want to be a better husband. I'll try to be a better man. When I look at my mom,
I hope so.
I hear everything she says. It makes me want to be everything that most men are not now. Like, it's now, wow.
I pray for you, Daniel, that you will be a good man, that you would be, you will be that man that your wife would be praying and thanking God for every day. Like, wow, thank you, God. I pray for you, brother, because it's not, I know it's not easy, but I don't know. There's a lot of work to be done, with the situation now, and I know that men have been silenced a lot. Like, okay, as a man, you don't talk, but you just be doing up and down. Talk, be vulnerable. Anything wrong with men being vulnerable? There's nothing. Well, before we take this to another level, this is where we bring the curtain. Bottom line is, from this book, you will learn. You can see how we are feeling like this. The stories are so vivid. Like, they are
good at she's very detailed. And there was a part she was like, my impatience betrayed my tone. Like, I was like, whoa, what's this? Oh, she's good.
Like, this is the kind of feeling you get when you read A Line in the Sand. Like, A Line in the Sand. Like, you will feel all the emotions: anger, disappointment, laugh. You will laugh. There's a particular story. Yes. There's a particular story there that you will laugh. Where I think it's Akweke. You will laugh. How a babe just feels like ashes. All that. She wants imagine a wife that is at home, or whole housewife wants to buy cream, and she called her husband that is in a meeting that is urgent. That one started driving rubbish to get to the house. Say, I want to buy cream. Hey! Like, you would laugh. You would cry for some, like, oh my God, people are truly going through this kind of thing. So it's a packed book, and I recommend it, guys. So please go get a copy. I'm going to leave the link to the Amazon link on the link of this video and of the podcast, as well as the link to pre-order if you are in Nigeria, so that you can get your hardback cover. Okay? Thank you so much for being with us today on Tap Review. Really do hope that we made sense of all what we were saying, because we're mixing it up, the summary of the story and our reaction to it. But it's the way that the story were written, and it really carried that emotion for us, and we can relate with it absolutely. And hopefully we're going to have the author come on the podcast soon, so that we can talk more and answer more questions, around keeping boundaries or setting healthy boundaries and what that is all about. Okay? Until we do that, until we come your way again next week with another episode of the Afrocentrist Podcast. Remain amazing. God bless you. Have a fantastic weekend.